It is a miserable day here in Manhattan. We are under a tropical storm warning and a tornado watch. It's just very windy and rainy outside. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. But I figure while I'm stuck inside, today would be the perfect day to show you guys the camera equipment that I've been filming with. I know I've got a couple questions on the Disney Sunrise series as far as what I used to film. And funny enough, I actually sold all of that equipment. I was a Canon camera user for 10 to 15 years, and during the pandemic I sold everything and I upgraded to the Fujifilm X-T4. It's a mirrorless 4K camera and I could not be happier with it. And that's what I'm shooting on right now, and the only way I could show you that is by using my iPhone, so let's do that really quick. I'm not that fancy, I only have one camera. So here we go. Fujifilm X-T4 with the Rode Pro Plus mic. And I love it. I have not a single complaint about it yet. It produces some amazing images and I cannot wait to continue using this. And as far as all the other equipment that I have, you can see this bright orange case behind me. It's a Pelican case, and that's what I use to travel with. It is the perfect stowaway size carry-on case for airplanes. So that is what I pull along with me. It's bright orange specifically because I don't want to lose it. So it stands out from the crowd quite a bit. But I'll show you what's inside that, and I'll show you also what's in my closet here as far as things that stay at home and travel with me sometimes, but just a well-rounded view of what I own and what I use. So let's give this a shot and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, I'm not really sure the best way to show you guys this, so I figured I'd keep the case here, keep the camera set up as is, and I'll just kind of pick things out of the case as we go. And as a reminder, the camera itself is what you are watching on, so that is not here, as well as the 16 to 80 millimeter XF lens that is on the camera and the Rode mic itself. You guys already saw all that. So let's grab this very first one here, which is my biggest lens, most expensive lens, the 50 to 140 2.8. This is what I would use to film reindeer in Iceland from afar, any kind of wildlife. It is not a telephoto lens, so not really great for the stars. I tried taking a picture of the moon recently, it didn't really come out that well, but it is a great lens, pretty hefty. It's got this cool thing for the tripod because it is so heavy, so you actually mount the lens to the tripod rather than the body of the camera itself. I have a mini tripod. I don't even remember what brand this is. CSN? OSN? Digital? OSN, I guess. It is super light. It is kind of broken. I've got it taped up. I've had this for years, but it is a great tripod on the go. It doesn't really get that tall, but again, it is pretty compact and good for maybe the hiking experience. I have this little guy. This is my nifty 50 millimeter 1.2 water resistant. And this was another favorite purchase of mine. This is the wide angle. So it's a 16 millimeter 1.4, and this is the Northern Lights lens. I absolutely love this lens and cannot wait to continue using it. And this is not the actual lens I used to film the Northern Lights, but it is the same, it is the equivalent of what I used on my old system. For the camera, I carry my battery charger. You can actually charge the camera right from a cable to the camera, but I do dual charging with this charger. This is my universal adapter for any kind of outlets I may be experiencing around the world. And then I have this Pelican, little teeny tiny Pelican case for memory cards. I only have a few memory cards in there at the moment. Usually it's pretty filled up before I go on a trip. And a quick cleaner. I haven't used this yet, actually. I only got it a couple days ago, but this is a polarizing filter. And this is a just UV filter that's already on the camera at the moment. In this case, I keep the charger for the camera and an extra battery. This is for the headphone jack and some wipes. This is a cool guy. I got it a couple of years ago. I've only used it a handful of times, but it's pretty fun. You can do a time lapse with it. It's a rotating device. It's a Movo. You probably have heard it, and you can kind of set the time and the rotation limit that you want it to go, how far you want it to rotate in a certain amount of time. So you get that cool, like, sweeping time lapse shot. It's pretty awesome. I should be using it way more than I have. And lastly, I have this little case. Oh, not lastly, I'll show you one more thing, but I have this case that I keep my main GoPro gear in. Every time I go on a trip, I try and decide what GoPro equipment I want because I have a bunch in the closet as well. But this is the main stuff. It's the GoPro itself, which I believe is a Hero, Black Hero 7. I bought this on a whim. I had a 5 and then the 7 came out with this like intense image body stabilization, and I was going on a trip that I would be on a helicopter and I was like, I need to have the best stabilization I possibly can to get a good shot, and it worked out phenomenally. And then I have the waterproof housing, which is not necessary since this is a waterproof camera, but I have it anyway. A couple of memory cards and a bunch of spare batteries. And the very last thing in the case is something that is personal to me. It's my little cheat sheet. And as you know, I've been filming for 10 to 15 years, photographing and filming, but I still have a cheat sheet that I read with little tips and tricks about good settings to use in certain situations. So it's something I still refer to this day, maybe not as often as I did back in the past, but I still look at it, especially when I'm trying to shoot stars or something that I don't film as often. I have the instructions here of best practices for that. So I'm not shy in telling you that I still am learning and I'm still teaching myself best ways to do things. And these are very helpful to me. All right, so coming off the tripod, and I'm gonna show you my next piece of equipment, which, are you surprised? It's another Pelican case. Another orange Pelican case, I should say. This is where I house my drone, and don't mind the mess right now. I'm in the middle of refoaming this case, but inside is my DJI Spark drone. And this is the charger for 3 batteries. The charger box itself. This is all out of focus. Okay, my camera was out of focus, but here we go. This is the DJI Spark, and I have flown it a couple of times. This is actually my 3rd iteration of this drone. It has disconnected from its Wi-Fi and crashed on its own. It has gotten taken down by a bumblebee in Hawaii. The only place I successfully flew it was actually Iceland, so you've seen that footage, but it was the only time it worked. I'm hoping to get back out and use it more. Not really great to use it here in New York City, but next time I'm out somewhere desolate, I will be sure to bring this with me and try it out again, because I love flying this thing. So this big guy comes with me on all of my trips. It is my carry-on, and it has all the main camera equipment I'm hoping to use. The little guy, not so much for my drone. I don't bring that everywhere I go. It depends on the area that I'm visiting. Am I gonna be allowed to fly legally? Is it completely open? Do I feel comfortable flying there? Sometimes I'll be in an area like that and I just won't feel like flying the drone. So I really pick and choose the trips that I wanna bring my drone on, and otherwise it stays, in this case, tucked away in my closet. But I want to sit down with you for a second because I want to show you what I do have in my closet that mostly stays here, but it is a pool of toys I get to choose from before I go away, and some of that includes my GoPro gear. I have a bunch of different mounts for GoPro. I have the Go pole, as well as this little flexible tripod. I have the chesty mount. I have this guy, forget the name of it, but actually I'm gonna make a video of my underwater filming and what I use for that. Oh, the Polar Pro. So this is like a bubble cap that you put on top of your GoPro, and it gives that effect where it looks like the water is pushing away from the lens of the camera. So I'll throw an example because I'm not sure that was a great description right there, but this is what it looks like. And so this is something I won't bring on a trip unless I know I'm gonna be snorkeling or scuba diving. I've never scuba dived, but you know, if I'm in the ocean somewhere and I wanna film, I'll bring this. I got this for free from B&H with the purchase of one of my lenses, but it's the Sensei kit, which is pretty cool. It's just like a cleaning kit. It's got all the nifty little tools to clean the lenses and the camera. I haven't brought this on a trip yet. I usually pick a couple of things out of it and put it into my larger Pelican case and bring it like that instead of bringing this full little pack, but I keep this here in my closet. There's a couple other mounts down here. I have shoulder mounts, chest mounts, wrist mounts. Got this like Gorilla Grip. So a lot of toys I've collected over the years, especially with GoPro. There's just so many accessories that you can have, and I have most of them. And I have used most of them too, which is cool. I'm not just a collector of them, but I've definitely used them in all different situations. Similarly, for the underwater filming, I've got these cool lenses. Let's see if I can show you. I'm going to be doing a video about these lenses, or different filters that you can put on your GoPro for different depths of water. And then I have this little Tupperware. I have to organize this a little bit better, but this is my audio box, and I've got kind of a couple things in it, but this is for my lavalier mic. So I have both here, both ends of it here. I think this is one of the cheaper lavalier brands, and it has worked pretty well, but recently, and now I'm probably like 6 or 7 years into using this, it started to crap out a little bit, so I'm gonna be looking for new lav options. Right now I'm just using the boom mic on my camera. But that's it. This is my little basket of toys that I choose from before I go away on trips, and it has everything that I need. I honestly, I love camera gear, and I kind of nerd out over it, but I am also a minimalist in the sense that I don't want a whole bunch of gear. I want exactly what I need and have a couple of options around that, but I really don't want to be carrying a ton of gear with me on my trips. I want exactly what is necessary for whatever it is that I'm filming. And to also have fun, because I'm a dork and I want to play with these toys. So that's it. That's all my gear. I hope that answered. I think it was 1 or 2 people were curious to know what I filmed with. So this video is for you and for anyone that comes along that's also curious. So hope that helps, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.